Today, I'm going to share some tips about how you can supercharge your spring. There's no doubt spring is well and truly here. The days are starting to feel a bit longer as you've got more sunshine. You might feel your energy levels are starting to pick up. But how do you maintain that? How do you maintain those motivation levels so that you can see yourself through to the end of this calendar year? Here are 6 ideas to keep you and perhaps your team supercharged and ready to finish all those things that you need to get done before the end of the year. Firstly, understand what motivates. We have this curious idea that motivation just kind of arises, and so we can sit around, hang around, waiting for motivation to strike. But motivation doesn't strike. Motivation comes from the doing. So when you feel like you don't want to do something, set yourself a time limit. Say, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes or even 20 minutes to sit down and start this. What you find is once you've started, that's when the motivation kicks in. And you can often find you can work for longer than you might have originally set as your target zone. Secondly, make progress visible. We like to feel that we've made progress, to know that our efforts mean something and have value. There's this fantastic piece of research which was done many years ago, back in 2010 by 2 academic researchers, and that's what they were interested in finding out. What is it that really motivates employees? They asked employees and managers the same question. What motivates employees at work? And they're given 5 things to choose from: recognition for good work, incentives and rewards, a sense of progress, clear goals and targets, interpersonal connections. What's interesting is they answered that differently. So when managers were asked, well, what do you think motivates your employees? Their answer was good work and recognition of that good work. When that same question was asked to that same group of employees, they said, that's not it. What motivates us the most is a sense of progress. When we're most frustrated is when we feel like all that work that we've done doesn't matter. And when we've got those roadblocks, employees want to see that they're making a difference. They want to feel that there's a sense of progress. So there's 3 parts to this. 1, it's important to set goals, to track that progress, and then celebrate that progress. So if you're in a leadership role, sit down with your team. Make sure you've got clearly defined goals. Articulate the milestones that you're going to use so that you can track and measure that progress. And then lastly, take time to celebrate that progress. And don't fall into the trap of continuously changing the goalposts, because that is when employees are most frustrated. When all that work that you told them yesterday was really important, now somehow miraculously is no longer important and you're not interested in it anymore. Next, set daily intentions. You can either do this at the start of the working week. I often find it really helpful to do it the night before the day that's about to begin. So talk to your team about what it is that they want to achieve. For yourself, get really clear about those intentions that can help to focus a day. Write that down, because when you've got it written down, then it's much easier to keep track on where it is that you're going. Also, once you've physically written down something, less so than verbalizing, sometimes harder to ignore. You also can use this as a really good way of, at the end of the day, tracking. What is it that I said I was going to get done during the day? What have I actually got done? Next, clean up your workspace. Now, if you're one of those people who goes, oh, no, I love that sort of sense of chaos and clutter that is on my work desk and in my office. Well, the research is going to show that you are less productive and often less efficient in getting things done. For many of us, we intuitively know that the space we're in affects our mood. Yet, sometimes our work environment can be dull, it can be drab, it can be cluttered, it can be too noisy. It's not conducive to bringing out your best or the best in your team. Think about the classic art of feng shui. It's built on that principle of paying attention to the space that we're in. One of the things that can help is applying a Kaizen technique. It's called the 5S process. And so if you've ever done any Kaizen work, you'll know what the process stands for. The 5S stands for sort, straighten, shine, standardize, and sustain. You can apply this to your workplace. So what you want to do is firstly, sort by scanning the workplace, having a look and getting rid of any material, equipment, things that are unused or obsolete, out of date. There might be old equipment that you can donate because you're no longer using it. Then you want to straighten. And in this step, what you want to do is take out all those remaining items, even things that are in desks and drawers and behind cupboards, and you want to categorize and organize where things are stored and placed. And you do that based on frequency of use. So if it's something that you're going to use frequently, put it in a place that's really easy to get access to and to remember where it is. You can categorize based on, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly use, or maybe it's something that you use only once a year. Then shine. What you do through the shine phase is you want to clean your work area and have a maintenance routine. So it pretty much remains in shape all the time. Standardize. Now that you've got the effort, you've put in the effort, you've done got rid of things you don't need, you've done that sorting and the categorization, you want to really make sure that you've got really clear standards across, either just for yourself or for your team, so that you can ensure that your workspace, which is now neat and tidy, stays that way. If it's at a team level, it might be that you need to agree on some standards, some workplace practices about how you do that. Lastly, sustain. You've put in the effort to making it look good, so you don't want to slide backwards. You don't want it to all go to waste. And we do know that humans, we're creatures of habit. So it can be easy to fall back into those behavioral patterns where perhaps you pick things up, put them down, but don't actually put them back where they should be. So with your team, really focus on why this matters. What's the joy that you're going to get out of having a nice workspace? What's the productivity benefits? What are the individual benefits? Be clear on why this matters to you. Now, you can use this both in your home work office, you can use it in your workplace. What you do also want to think about, and this is the last bit, elevating your workspace, is you don't want the space to be dull and drab, and it can be easy to have something that's very clean and very sterile. So yes, you're going to do the 5S process, but then think about how you can elevate the aesthetics. Is it that you've got plants or colour or paintings? We know that colour affects brain waves, and so it affects our automatic nervous system and hormonal activity and our emotions. So where you can, bring some colour, some life into your workspace. If it's possible, natural light. Is it possible to have windows that you can open? So think about all the things that you can do to make that workspace something where you want to be. Now, I said that was the last one, but that was a trick. There's actually one more to make it 6. Think long term, not short term. You hear a lot about everyday matters. And look, it's true. You don't want to waste time and you do want to make the most out of life. But the occasional down day, that's really good for you. We need that. We need time to rest and recharge. We need times to just go slow so that we can just ponder and reflect and kind of take it easy occasionally. If you're running all the time, you're going to miss things. So manage the energy. Know when you're going to have a peak day. Know when you're going to have a go slow day. In all of this, keep your eye on where it is that you want to head and what you want to achieve. But you always want to make sure that you take your health, and that's both physical and mental, with you. As the wonderful author Maya Angelou said, nothing's going to work unless you do. Have a great week.